Good morning. Happy November. Where has the year gone? For those of you that don't know me, I am Courtney Cox. I am the founder and one of the educators here at BABE, or Brilliance Advanced Beauty Education. I'm so excited today. We have a very special guest, Hannah with SalonVironment and Green Beauty Communities. So let's get Hannah on here. I hope everyone had a good we had like one of the most amount of kids ever. So I was giving them props for getting out there in the super cold weather. I think we've got Hannah.
Hello, hello. Can you hear
Hi, I can
me?
hear you. Oh, there you
Oh, there we go.
are. How are you?
Hi,
Good.
how
How
are
are
you?
you?
Good, good. Good. How was your
It
Halloween?
was good. I was just saying that it was so windy here. Was it windy where you guys are?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I guess it's what is it? The
I know. I think it's
Midwest
been
weather.
warm or like super nice once in my entire life, and it wasn't when I was trick or treating. So yeah,
Of course. That's what that can never happen for the
I
Midwest kids.
know.
So
Like, get a costume that can go under your coat or over it. Yeah,
Spider-Man with a winter
that's
coat.
right. Yours was
Well,
good too.
yeah, yeah. We usually being kind of lazy with our Halloween costumes makes it a little bit more low waste and eco-friendly, but we were Sims this year, so we made little plumb bobs with like headbands and hats and for to be a Sim. So, you know, they have like the green diamonds over their head, so we just made that out of paper and
Cute.
called it a day.
Yeah, awesome. I know I didn't actually dress up this time, but that's okay.
Next year. We
Yeah,
got next year.
yeah. My power just went out. Oh, and I came back on. Uh-oh, hopefully the internet's
It
stable.
is definitely it is a windy
You know,
day.
the wind stopped today for here, so I don't know what that was about, but hopefully it is okay now. Anyway, um thank you so much for joining me, and I want you to go ahead and introduce yourself and let everyone know just a little bit about yourself and yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, well, thank you so much for having me and having me on here. I really appreciate it and appreciate your time. But for those who don't know me, my name is Hannah. I am a licensed cosmetologist, but of the last what is now 11 years. But now I am currently the founder of SalonVironment, which focuses on curated education for the beauty industry from a kind of a more climate activist position, and just trying to help find solutions to make things easier for beauty professionals so they don't have to worry about being eco-friendly while being behind the chair, as well as being a co-founder and the current COO of the Green Beauty Community, which is a platform that focuses on bringing people in, beauty professionals that just want to learn more on how they can be more eco-conscious and having a lot more networking opportunities, education opportunities, especially from brands, and uplifting those that are doing, uh, doing the work, even from behind their chair. So, yeah, just a lot of really fun things. This has been a really fun kind of career shift for me the last 4 years.
That's amazing. So what do you feel made you go down that path?
Um, I've always been a tree hugger, but I've also always been very I when I hyperfixate quite a bit, and I say that in like, and because that's just who I am, but I love doing that. So my career usually ends up being that, and being in hair, there's just so many different things you can do. And I just love the beauty industry. So I really focused just on building my career and really perfecting what I was doing for the last, for about 7 years. And then I kind of just had a shift in my life where I'm like, you know what, I need to do something different. What can I do? But I was also really unhappy with what was just kind of going on, the conversation around climate change and just, what are we doing about it? And was I was feeling a lot of anxiety. I was feeling just kind of, distraught because I felt like I could do more, but I couldn't really do more while I was behind the chair. Because I mean, right? Courtney, when you have clients full time, um, it's just a lot of mental. It's just very mentally and physically, you know, um, draining, not in a bad way, but you just really you don't really have kind of extra time to do all these other extra curricular activities. And I was working 6 days behind the chair. Um, so I thought I just need to do something about it. There's not really anything for hairdressers and the and beauty professionals in general, and the beauty industry is quite wasteful. And there's so many different things that we can do. We just don't really have the education around it. So with the support of my loved ones, I quit my job to kind of pursue this full time and just kind of figure out what are the issues in the beauty industry that need addressing, that maybe it shouldn't all be put on the beauty professional because we have so much we're doing anyway. Because again, we're behind the chair, we're taking care of our clients. There's not really a lot of room to kind of go beyond. So it's like, what can I do to make that easier for the people that are taking care of other
I
people?
love that. So you're basically the liaison between the beauty industry and um, being more eco-friendly, more green, and conscious of our waste and ways that we can preserve. Um, I think that's so helpful because not everybody has the desire to spend the time to, do the research that goes into this. And you guys have been such an interesting and amazing resource. I've been following you guys and working with you guys a little bit back and forth for, I don't know, we're probably close to a year now. And I feel like
Yeah.
I have learned so much, and I can definitely see the efforts that you have done. And you just bring so much awareness to the forefront. And like, just, it doesn't have to be like a massive thing. It doesn't have to be a complete overhaul of your space. You can start with little things that can truly make a difference, that may even save you money, or just even like it's going to take you 2 more seconds. Like, we all can do our parts, and it can actually kind of gain momentum and make a difference. I know a lot of times people are like, oh, me recycling that can isn't going to make a difference. You recycling one can, correct, is probably not going to make a big difference, but you recycling, over your lifetime, a lot of cans or whatever it is, right? And also having other people do that, it does start to make a huge difference. So, and I know you guys have worked with legislation. I don't know if you want to touch on that at all, but, or even big companies that have been making major changes.
So it's interesting because I think green beauty community in general, we haven't really touched on legislation, but we do like as individual, like we will as individuals. Um, so for green beauty community, one of our board members, Greg Starkman, who is the CEO of InnerSense, he has done a lot of work with like the Safer Beauty Bill package, which I really appreciate, because that was actually something that I kind of discovered a few years ago. The campaign for it, it's the Safer Beauty Bill package is it's 4 bills. that haven't really gone to, they haven't really made their way into becoming official. I mean, I don't even think it's like past the House or, um, but it's four bills that consist of like getting rid of certain ingredients in your beauty products. That's kind of like, do we really need this? There are kind of a lot of, different alternatives. As well as there's one that is helping protect the health of people of color communities and beauty professionals, because we do have a higher, what is it? It's like we spend more time in chemicals, right? So there are usually, I shouldn't say usually, there's a higher risk for those two groups of having health issues. So as well as what else is there? No PFAS in Cosmetics Act, and I know I should know all of them. I just haven't had enough caffeine today, I guess. But so there's quite a few, which is really great. But so Greg's been working on that. I personally have been working on that, and then I as well. Um, I started volunteering with Citizens Climate Lobby, which is it's a nonpartisan environmental lobbying group that helps uplift kind of bills that we think are really great for the environment. So like there's the carbon tax bill, which is essentially like a polluters pay bill that we were uplifting kind of solely for quite a while. There's like protecting, the trees act, and there's a few. I got involved with them in 2021. I haven't really been involved in the last year and a half because I've been doing a lot more stuff with GBC, which is also great. But the reason we do talk a lot about it is because it's kind of just like what you said, one person throwing away a can, they're going to think it's not really that big of a deal. But when you are doing it every day or, multiple times throughout your lifetime and getting other people to do it too, it makes such a bigger impact. So the more you kind of talk about like these are policies that are out there that individuals like you and me can speak out to your local representative too, it makes such a big difference. Again, one person saying something to your local representative might not really hit it, but you get at least 12 people to do it. It makes such a big impact, and you are able to kind of just able to push the baseline a little bit. So especially with the Safer Beauty Bill package, we can just make beauty better at a baseline. So then we don't have to do all these extra things. So that I think that's kind of the reason why I do like policy and like talking to bigger companies, because you do get a feel of like, well, what are some of these roadblocks that are keeping, keeping beauty from being better at like a baseline, whether it's like no formaldehyde or whether we can fund more of these beauty products to see, are they safe? Are they, what is the risk factor with them? We can really start to understand why isn't it like this to begin with, which a lot of that can be financial, a lot of that can be lack of regulations, a lot of that are people just like don't know. So it's just kind of, again, understanding the problem and then where do we go from there? And then how do we get other people to get on board? Because the more that we all understand what some of these issues are and some of the solutions that are out there, I don't know, we can just make a bigger difference. Sorry, that was kind of long-winded, but
oh, that's really good. And actually, I don't blame you for not knowing all the things in the bills that are trying to be passed. And a lot of times, people have no idea how long and time-consuming legislation can take. So that doesn't surprise me at all. And you just have to keep moving forward. And also, I wanted to touch on like the chemicals that you're speaking of. I just went in my feed, I don't remember where, talking about how Europe has increased their chemicals that they don't allow, in beauty products, and it may have also crossed over in food. But in relation to the U.S., to give you guys an idea, the European, they're at like in the thousands of how many different chemicals that they do not allow. And some of it may be that it's dangerous, but many times that crosses over into, like, if it shouldn't be on us or in us, then it also probably shouldn't be, like, it's probably not helping the planet or anything like that. But we, as the US, only have 13 ingredients that cannot be used. So it's quite scary and terrifying. And, I know it's not fun to ever deal with change. And there are a lot of companies that would have to make major changes in order to stay in business. But some of the companies that are, that we utilize are actually doing the work to be approved in Europe. So it's just like they're either, I don't want to say lazy, or it's being more cost effective or whatever, but our standards are so much lower in that term that they can get away with using ingredients that are not ideal. And there's like, that's like a whole nother path you can go down with this arena in terms of chemicals, but it's like those can be like hormone disruptors and like all kinds of problems. You guys, I'm sure, have heard about some of these things. So it's just great, and it's so refreshing to hear you talk, Anna, because I feel like you're such a huge resource for people who don't really have the time, but to educate themselves to the level that your knowledge, but maybe want the Cliff Note version so they can make either so they can be more involved or make better decisions. And then if they choose to still go down the path that you have and really educate themselves further and do more research, you guys have provided so many great resources, and you make them just like relatable to our industry and bite size. Like, it doesn't have to be, like I said, like a huge overhaul or overwhelming, but just something consumable that you can like realize you can make a difference. Go ahead. Were you going to say something?
Oh, I was just going to say actually a couple things. Is the other two bills that that are in the Safer Beauty Bill package is supply chain transparency and fragrance
Oh,
disclosure. So sorry, I wanted to put that out there because right, very important with ingredients and just transparency, because you're so right. I think we get really overwhelmed when it's just a lot of information and not everyone consumes it the same way. So having things that are bite-sized, and I like to call it like kind of easy to read on your lunch break, right? Like sometimes we have like only 5 minutes in our day to have lunch and use the bathroom and check Instagram real quick. So it's very just like, okay, we can make this really easy and, like you said, consumable. I think that's a really good, just a really good point is, how easy can we make it for the average person? And you have, and I love this too, because if I remember correctly, it's not directed towards hairdressers, it's directed towards estheticians, of just like, you have a class through Babe that's like, how can you be a little bit greener in your space? And I think that's really remarkable, because how great to have that one count towards your hours. It's something, again, really easy and consumable, because it doesn't have to be, right, a million things. You can just change a few things, and and that's a great start, or maybe that's where you end, and that's fine too, but you're doing something.
yeah. Thank
Doing
you. Yeah. The
more.
class I have is incorporating eco-friendly time and money saving tips into your practice. And it really could go for pretty much any beauty professional, because I feel like the tips are some of them are going to relate more to one of those professions more than another, but there's something in there for everything, for everyone. And it's just, again, like you said, bite-sized tips. And what I have found also, because I'm not as tree hugging as you, but I am pretty tree hugger, and I'm just passionate about making the small differences that I can do. I'm not gonna like I'm not going for Mother Teresa award or anything, but um but I do recognize that, to me, what is right and what is wrong, and like how I can make a difference, because I have taken the time to educate myself, not as in depthly, but definitely on some topics. And so this has been a long time for me, like um, probably in upwards of 20 years that I have been making changes that I'm just like, this is not okay. Like some of the cleaning products, just something simple. You have to find something that's still effective, but that's not, bad for the environment and giving us like lung cancer. I mean, like, what a simple concept, right? But I found along in my journey that not always, but sometimes an eco-friendly and environmentally friendly change could also save you time and money. Not always. It's like not always the perfect triangle, right? It might be like two of them, maybe not the third, and maybe it's just an individual, but like it's still can be helpful. So yeah, that's nice. And we do offer it with continuing education hours with a bunch of states. But again, just another little simple tips and tricks that you can incorporate into your career that can make a big difference over time. Again, if you do it for one day, is it going to make a huge difference? No. But if you do it and you stick to it and you inspire others to do the same, then it will. So
I think and this is, I think, with like any market, is when there's more options for a certain service, for a certain product, the brands or, organizations or businesses, they want to cater to you. So, and that means no matter what, there's going to be then more competitions between these businesses, which, maybe not great for them, but great for us, because it does then it makes it less expensive for the individual. And that's kind of with anything, right? Like not having phthalates or vegan brands, they were kind of hard to come by, and they were a little bit more expensive. Now we're seeing them reduce in price. We're kind of just seeing that in general with different like organic, beauty products, or again, just like certain services. The more the market is like saturated, or just becomes more popular, the better it's going to be for us as individuals and professionals, because it's not going to cost, an arm and a leg to have the kind of business you want. It's going to make it a little less expensive. So that's why I'm also very much about like, yes, tell your friends and get them on board, but then have them tell their friends, and have them all, whether it's asking their brand reps, asking their distributors, whether like keep talking about it, because the more that then, brands and businesses hear that, oh, one person wants this, we're not going to make that move. Oh, but 12 people want this. I mean, obviously that's a low number for like, like a certain brand, but people then are going to continue to want to, or brands and businesses are going to want to obviously adhere to the customer, so they're going to offer those services. And because of that, then the market for them, for whether it's getting those ingredients, making those changes in packaging, that then also it becomes easier for them to be able to have those, or to implement those into their business, because now that everyone wants sustainable packaging, everyone wants, certain ingredients to replace some of these other ingredients, it's then now cheaper for them to accumulate those. So then it really does just it just kind of brings everything, or, the price of everything down, but also then we still, so again, it creates that better baseline, and makes it so it's not, again, beauty professionals, like they're superheroes. We unfortunately, in my opinion, do not, they do not get paid how they should get paid all the time. And we love to emotionally discount, because we love, we love what we do so much. And then, so unfortunately, it can kind of screw people over financially, and, we sometimes just can't really help it. Um, so this is kind of a way to also help the beauty professional financially also. Um, and again, creating just a better baseline, for their clients and for themselves.
Yeah. And actually, I just want to touch on one thing, kind of what you're saying with, speaking about it, but also not only just like in your professional world, but in your personal world. I think it was last week I had, or 2 weeks ago, I did a blog about voting. And I didn't just talk about like, yes, we need to vote for, political people, but our choices every day, whether you spend money at a business or you don't, is a vote. So if you are liking what a company is doing, vote for them. And what does that look like? So you can spend money with them, you can share with them, you can, or share about them, you can leave reviews, there's so many things that we can do to vote for what is important to me, important to you. And there's been businesses that I just didn't agree with their practices or what they were doing, and I just stopped doing business. Now, will my little like hissy fit impact them? No, but if there are more people that feel like I do and they stop just rolling over and taking what they have to offer and not finding something else as an alternative that is better fit for what you want and need, it will start to impact them. And in fact, one of the large companies I can think of that I just couldn't deal with their practices anymore and I cut them out, has folded, and it is a very large company. And I'm assuming it's partially because of people like me who are just said, I've had it with their practices. I'm not going to shop here anymore. I have other options. So, you can make an impact that way too, by working with brands that, make good choices, whether it's the products that they use or the way that they ship things, like you were talking about, or whatever it is. There's ways that we can connect with people on that level too. And I think that's just a small piece of it. But if we're not supporting those people, kind of like what we saw in COVID, or anytime really, if you're not supporting the people that you love, the coffee shop down the street or the taco shop or whatever it is, they're not going to make it. So, I mean, not that again, just one person, but truly it all adds up, especially many of us know as small business owners, or even just, a professional who this is your career. If one person comes to you and they refer a bunch of people to you, that can just, make you. So it's kind of the same concept.
Same with, actually, and I love that you mentioned that, because I want to kind of put out there. So I've noticed this quite a bit recently, and I've heard from a few different communities, but refill shops are actually, a lot of them are closing down. And if you don't know what a refill or zero waste shop is, for anyone watching, they are, they're low waste shops. So they have products, and a lot of them have like services or events to help you reduce your waste, and or like help you find kind of cleaner products. So for example, like you can go with a bottle. Sometimes they also have bottles there. You can, instead of, buying a shampoo, at Target or something, where, you have then a ton of these empty plastic bottles after, you can actually go to these refill shops instead, and you can just fill up shampoo, you can fill up conditioner, you can fill up cleaning product. You can buy, bamboo utensils instead of plastic. There's so many different options there, and I think they really are well in line with beauty professionals as well too, because there's just so many opportunities for partnering together, whether it's cleaning products, whether it's even just like beauty products. I think there's just really great opportunity there, and unfortunately, a lot of them are closing. So, and they're, in my opinion, really great small businesses to have around, because none of them I've really seen. I think a few have like a few stores, but there's not really any franchises of them. And they're all really great, and they're just all really great. Our refill community here in Michigan is incredible. They're all really nice. They all have just like these events of bringing people together, teaching people how to, you have a hole in your pants. Let's show you how you can fix it. Let's refill candles together. Just so many, again, different opportunities to work together. So it's sad to see them all closing. So I would highly recommend finding your local refill store for whoever's watching, and whether it's buying from them or like partnering with them, because again, I think there's just a lot that beauty professionals can learn from refill shops, especially for retail, but also just other ways that they can partner together, whether it's throwing an event together, whether it's maybe you're buying your refill, or maybe you're refilling your cleaning products with them. Again, there's just so many ways that they can work together. So,
I love
yes.
that.
Oh, hi, Refill
Oh,
Emporium. Oh, I love her. Hi, Whitney. Whitney and I have, yes, so she said there is an online list. There's a Refillery collective directory. You type in your zip code, and you can find your nearest refill store. So Whitney and I have actually, we have she's collected donated hot tools for me. Actually, Courtney, for the same thing that we were doing for your event. So we take those donated hot tools and we send them actually to Colorado to our friends at R&R Head Labs. They work with people who were recently incarcerated but got out. They got their license in cosmetology or barbering, and they are ready to give back to their community. So those tools are to help them kind of get back into it as they're building their business. So I love that both of you guys are here today, like in the same room.
yeah.
So, but yes.
Awesome. It's good to know there's an online list too. Yeah, thank you. Does anyone else have any questions? Hannah, I do want you to um, let people know, also if you have anything else you want to share, but let people know how they can connect with you and how they can learn more and all the things.
So you can connect with me. So my main page is SalonVironment. You can find me on my Instagram, my website. It's all the same name, Facebook. You can also, I highly suggest I'm not usually on the Facebook page, but you should also connect with the Green Beauty community. We do have a lot of great free educational opportunities and ways to sort of uplift people that are in the beauty industry that want to make those sustainable changes. So some of the things that we have are our bi-monthly educational webinars. They're the first and third Monday of every month at 4 p.m. EST or 1 p.m. PST. And so we have experts in field that come on and just kind of talk a little bit. This is kind of more brands and organizations come on and talk about what are they doing to make a difference in the industry in terms of, for example, this Monday we have Brandon Frank of PPC packaging. He's a sustainable packaging expert, and just kind of talking about sort of the trends we've seen with sustainable packaging and what that future kind of looks like. We have also had Kate from Dip come on to talk a little bit about for those who are not familiar, they are a hair care line, but they specialize in shampoo bars, and just other ways to keep hair care a lot more low waste. So we have a lot of great opportunities with that, and we also have a podcast that we like to bring on. Courtney, actually, I'm excited because your episode's coming on, I think,
Thursday, I
sometime
think.
in
Oh, is it
December.
coming up?
Yeah, I think it's, or no, I think it's coming, or I think it's going to be released in December, but just talking about, right, people who, beauty professionals who are making, sustainable changes in whatever way. What does that look like for their business? We want to hear from you. So you should definitely head over to the Green Beauty community for networking and connection, and just, again, yeah, easy education of what else can you do in your
Yeah.
community. So yeah, we got a lot of things there.
Yeah, a lot of amazing resources. I'm so glad. And you guys can look for that list, or maybe even connect with Whitney at Refill Emporiums CS or SCS. Um,
Yes. St. Clair
oh,
Shores. She's in Michigan,
okay.
everyone. If you're there, you should
Oh,
go.
yeah. That's cool. I'll have to go there someday.
Yes, yes, and then come visit me too.
Oh,
I'm 30 minutes from her,
yay.
so
Field trip. All right.
yeah.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Hannah. Is there anything else you want to share before we hop off?
I just want to say thank you for providing this platform, and as well as just everything that you do. I love talking about brilliance to anyone that will listen. So I appreciate what you do. Thank you so much, and thank you again for having me
I feel
here.
completely the same, and thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I feel like, ironically, I just had Carly on a couple days ago, and we were introduced
She's the
to
best.
Carly. And I mean, I know that in our hearts that we are all just trying to make a difference in our industry and in the world. And if it helps just one person, it's all worth it. So
Absolutely.
yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate everything you do, and you allow me to get the Cliff Note version because I just do not have the bandwidth anymore to do the research I used to do. But things change all the time, so it's amazing and refreshing to be able to just take those consumable bites of what's happening and learning. So I appreciate you as well, and yeah.
Actually, that is one thing I'm going to sign off with this, which is any change you make, like, with good intention and wanting to do, you do not have to be perfect to be an environmentalist or make a change or make an impact. Just talking about it, just and also just have you don't have to be it's very easy to become angry and stressed out. You do not have to do that. You will make a better impact just by opening up your ears and listening and just hearing, okay, well, this is what I can do today, and that is the best I can do. And sometimes you just have to go day by day. And it's okay if, like, I'm drinking out of plastic because I go to Dunkin' Donuts, unfortunately, like, too often. And we always do drive through. But, but also that is okay if you sometimes use a drive-through and get a plastic cup. There's so many other things that you can
Yeah,
do.
for sure.
You can still fight against
Yeah,
it.
just do what you can.
Your own
Yeah,
way.
most
Do what you can.
yeah. Oh, thank you so much. And thank you, anyone who is either been on with us. If you have any questions, or of course, watching the replay, we appreciate you watching. You can connect with Hannah if you have any questions and want to learn more. And then you can connect with us if you want to learn any more on our education. And yeah, and of course, Whitney, if you have questions in terms of having a refill shop, because I think that's such a cool concept. I've been in some in my life, and I love them. There's not any around here though, so
Dang, well, we got to
yeah,
get you to Michigan then.
yeah.
There's a lot of really great
Oh,
ones here.
that's awesome. Okay, well, thank you again, and I'm sure we'll talk soon. I hope you have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you. I hope you
Thank
do
you.
too. Thanks again,
Thank you.
Courtney.
Take care.